Well now, this is an interesting find out here on my main gate into the property. Now Dave, what's the topic for today? What kind of old iron piece of equipment or whatever are you going to be working on, you're asking me? I can hear it now. Well, today we're going to actually cover humanity's inconsideration for private property. By the way, that's how that is usually done up when I do it. Howdy everybody, I'm Dave with Dave's Old Iron, coming to you from Nelson Creek Farms in a beautiful, cold, windy southern Idaho today. It was just less than a week ago or so that I came out with a big announcement about how we were going to hold another open house for ag enthusiasts, flea market people, and arts and crafts folks. Well, that may have just changed again today. So what happened today to cause this train of thought? Well, I'll tell you. Right down in there where I was standing, a young couple had crossed the irrigation ditch that runs right along in here and had crawled on top of and over the fence. As you can see, it's kind of wobbly and leaning and whatever. Now it is. I had to chase them off. I've moved up here on my lawnmower. It's my new wheels around the farm, just to get in out of the wind. Daytime highs here in southern Idaho been running mid-30s at best. Overnight lows, single digit, low 20s, that sort of thing. We had an inordinate amount of rainfall last night, of all things. I expected snow on the ground, several inches of it this morning. But the rain quit before it got colder first thing this morning to freeze the water. Anyway, the reason why I say I may have changed my mind is this. As it stands right now, we are scheduled to have an open house for plowing, old tractors, vintage antiques, arts and crafts, flea market, you name it, on the 17th of May, 2025. But something happened today that reminded me of how inconsiderate people are. They don't give a crap about somebody's private property or personal possessions anymore. And I'm not just talking about burglars and thieves. I'm talking about a lot of the people in general. I know none of you are this way, but yeah. So let me tell you what happened. Been thinking about putting out another video prior to Christmas. Give you an update on either building a road, or working on the Little Alice Chalmers B, or something. Well, honestly, the weather, except for right now this minute, has been so atrocious here in southern Idaho. I haven't felt like getting outside and braving the weather, coming down with pneumonia or a cold or whatever, just to film a video for y'all. So I do apologize. But within the last hour, I had a Karen type lady, it was a photographer, taking photographs of a young couple here on the property. And I didn't know they were here until I heard them giggling, laughing, and talking. Now, normally, I don't have a problem with somebody being on the place doing photography of, as in this case, a young couple. In fact, I've had people, photographers, on the property before taking photos of people here. And, in fact, that's one of the things I want to encourage. However, none of this trio bothered to come to the door, knock on the door, and ask for permission. They just started crawling all over the property. In fact, by the time I got out there, I found one leaning on the road side of the fence, and the other one standing on the fence rails on the inside of my property. Now, to get to that fence, they have to cross an irrigation ditch and what we call a borrow pit, which is the grass area between the road and the fence line. Something long-term subscribers had seen me mow using Stinky, the 8N Ford, and a big 5-foot rotary mower on the back end of it. So, yeah, they were every bit of 20 feet off of the road. I don't know how it is in your neck of the woods, but property owners here in Idaho pay to the center line of the road, which is where the surveys are done. They put steel pins in the asphalt, bury them down a ways, but that is what the surveyors use as markers for corners of property, border lines of property, that sort of thing. And here where I'm at, I pay taxes to that line in the road as a division point. So I'm basically paying for half of the roadway around here. Now, I know full good and well that I have provided an easement for the county to come along and maintain the road and whatnot, put the road in, at no cost to me, no profit to me. That's just part of the rules and regulations in the area. But still, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't like people crawling all over the stuff. And trespassing. Now, if they'd come to me and asked for permission, yeah, I might even opened up the place for them. Said, come on in, take pictures wherever you want. Because I've done it before. But when you're climbing on a fence, taking in the possibility that you may fall off of said fence and get hurt, which ends up costing me because you're going to sue me for your busted leg or whatever, or the fact that you're going to break the fence and then just run off and giggle and leave, leaves me hanging with a broken fence. And I have tried to get new fence posts and fence rails in this area, and the closest place I can get any of that is almost 200 miles away. One-way drive. Yeah, so that, and going through the cities, and even though it's interstate with 80-mile-an-hour roads, that's still a 3-hour drive or so, one way, to get replacement parts for the fence. So, one, I'm happy that the couple didn't get hurt. Two, I'm glad my fence is in one piece and intact. But that leaves me with the choice, and reminds me of why, one of the reasons why we quit doing the farm shows here on the place. In fact, the last one we had in 2020, I'd invited some 4-H people to come to do a fundraiser on the place by selling chili, hot dogs, hamburgers, that sort of thing. Well, I specifically told them to bring the older kids, leave the younger ones at home, no more than 2 to 4 vehicles, and the older kids would be the ones doing the selling and whatnot, because I knew the parents were going to be tied up dealing with the cooking and not watching littler kids. Well, we had this one little ringleader that had 10 or 11 kids following him around all day. He ended up chucking rocks over the roof of the barn, denting a fender of a participant's vehicle. I later found out why there was county police cars out along the road where a car had parked. That same little individual had busted out a window to get some change out of a coffee cup holder on the dash or wherever it was, so he could buy some stuff from one of the vendors. Well, quite honestly, folks, by the time that kid had left here, I'd made up my mind I was doing no more shows here. Well, then, like I said in that last video about the big plans coming up, well, I got thinking, I got all this infrastructure, let's use it. Well, I'd kind of halfway forgotten about that kid until I was reminded about people and their inconsiderations today. Like I said, if that photographer or that couple that had come, knocked on the door, said, hey, can we take some photos here on your place? I said, sure, what would you like to see? Maybe I can help you set up something, you know. But no. Yeah. So, for now, this is kind of a whine pain in the butt video. We are still planning on doing the show in May of 2025 for now. But my faith in humanity has gone down the toilet. And if things like today keep happening, yeah, everything's going to come to a screeching halt. And I'm going to go find myself some little cave to hole up in the mountains somewhere, I think. Sounding pretty good about now. Anyway, I'm Dave with Dave's Old Iron. Wishing you all well, and if I don't see you between now and then, y'all have a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll try to get a couple more videos out, but if the weather doesn't behave, unlike it is right now this minute, this is going to be the last one for 2024. So until the next time, possibly sooner, I'm Dave, and we'll catch up with you later. Bye-bye for now.